Hi everyone, my name is Christy and welcome to my Trying a New Makeup Product Everyday series. Today I am trying out a product that I have never tried anything like this before. It's from Sally Beauty Supply and the brand is Palladio and it's wet and dry foundation. So, maybe I've tried out a powder type foundation like this before. Well, I definitely have, but I haven't tried out a wet and dry version, which had me very intrigued, so that's why I picked it up. I got it in the shade Laurel Nude, and it cost about $14 when I got it at Sally Beauty Supply. And basically it sounds like you can apply it with a wet sponge or a dry sponge, and that will change, I guess, your coverage. So if you apply it wet, you get maximum coverage, dry for sheer coverage. So packaging seems pretty nice, but the pan size seems very small. And the sponge that comes with it really just feels like the classic kind of dense foundation sponge that comes with products. I've never even wet one of these sponges before, so I'm intrigued to see how it's going to be. I guess first things first, I'm going to go ahead and pick some up while the sponge is dry. And let's see how it looks. The shade match thankfully seems pretty good for me. Yeah, it does seem to be going on with pretty sheer coverage right now. You can see I've got a lot of redness in my cheeks and it's not really giving much coverage, but it's looking pretty good on the skin. Like a nice velvet finish that doesn't look cakey or powdery, which is really nice. But I definitely want to get more coverage. So I'm going to go ahead and I have a spray bottle of water here. And I'm just going to go ahead and spray the sponge. It doesn't seem to really be absorbing the water. The water seems to be sitting on top of it. So now as I pick up the foundation, it's probably going to make it more of a liquidy foundation. Oh, it looks weird as I'm trying to pick it up. And let's see. It actually kind of feels like it's removing the makeup while it's wet. We're going on even more sheer and darker. Yeah, applying it with a wet sponge is seriously just like caking it onto the sponge and removing it from the skin. That gave no coverage. That didn't even apply anything onto the skin. That is so weird that they would say wet the sponge for maximum coverage when that truly does nothing. It looks better with a dry sponge, but I did grab a few other tools to apply it with to test it out that way. First, I'm going to try my new Amazon sponge that I love. So I'm going to pick up some onto the sponge like this and let's see. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's actually giving probably the most coverage. Just dabbing at the skin like this. This really is a very smooth powder. I love that it's not at all cakey. That's looking really good. Over my nose. I've got large pores on this area here, my nose and my inner cheeks. And it's kind of smoothing over the pores. I'm seeing now that with this sponge, I can't get full coverage, more like a light to medium coverage. And the color does seem to oxidize a bit on the skin, meaning it's getting darker compared to how it looks in the pan here, which is not good. Like, yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit too orange and oxidized. on me. And then my go-to dampened beauty sponge. Picking up some of this. Let's finish off on the forehead. Still definitely oxidizing. Getting many shades darker. It does kind of feel a bit uncomfortably dry, especially on my chin where my skin is dry. Like, it feels dry. It doesn't look drying on the skin. I mean, it's definitely a velvety finish, but it feels dry. So I'm impressed by the texture of this, but everything else I'm not impressed by. The coverage, how it changes color, how terrible it applies with the sponge. So the feel of it, it definitely looks like now it's starting to dry out my chin. So not gonna work for me. I mean, this is kind of how the Sally Beauty Supply makeup products have been for me for the most part. Just like a great concept, but a real failure when I go to try them out. And they're more expensive than I would have expected. $14 for this tiny amount of powder. Like, I immediately need to remove this from my skin now, which is annoying. But now I know, and hopefully this can save you some time and money on trying this out. But if you have already tried it out, I would love to hear in the comments down below how it worked for you. And thank you so much for watching my video today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you can see the makeup that I try every day. And I will see you tomorrow in my next video.